Tuesday, September 14th, 2021. Spinebuster Sports presents The Feast, hosted by Sock Sanchez.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to The Feast, brought to you by Spinebuster Sports. As always, I am Sox Sanchez. Next to me is Pound Cake.
What up, party people?
Hope everybody's having a hope everybody had a great week this past week. Kyle, how you doing, sir?
Well, Sox, needless to say, if I still drink, I'd be at the bar right now.
That's fair. If you didn't know, Kyle is a big Packers and Notre Dame fan. We'll get into that a little bit later. Kyle, fantasy football. How'd your team do this week?
I think we already covered how I felt about football, Sox. I'd still be drinking if I drank.
Yeah. Who'd you play week one in fantasy?
I don't know. Whoever Dave Blitzcraig is.
That'd be me. Crushed his ass. I had a great week in fantasy football. Today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about our favorite sports movies of all time. For dessert, Kyle will probably talk about some Notre Dame and Green Bay football and how much he's got a big smile on his face. As an appetizer today, we're going to have a new segment called Talk to the Hand, which we talk about Michigan sports and entertainment over the past week. With that being said, I have a trivia question for you, Kyle. It's a Jeopardy question.
Shoot.
2021 Week 1, which team did the New Orleans Saints completely beat their ass?
I believe that'd be the Green Bay Packers, Sox.
That is incorrect. It is who is the Green Bay Packers, Kyle? Rough week for Green Bay. Kyle rewatched the game last night. It's not like it was just any one particular fault. It looked like the whole team was not on the same page at all. Like I said, we're going to get into that a little bit later. Kyle's going to have a big, I'm sure, like a 10-minute rant about this later. Let's start this Talk to the Hand segment.
Talk to the hand.
Talk to the left because you know you ain't right. Kyle, you want to start it off, bud?
All right, MSU football on Saturday. MSU 42, Youngstown State 14. For the second week in a row, Michigan State scores on the first play from scrimmage. Jaden Reed goes 75 yards on a pass from Peyton Thorne for a touchdown, putting MSU up 7-0, one play into the game. Later on, after a Thorne 10-yard touchdown run, early in the second quarter, Thorne connects with Reed again on an 85-yard touchdown reception. And then after that, MSU's defense clamped down, only allowing for 3 Youngstown offensive drives for over 30 yards, and MSU rolls 42-14 against Youngstown State. MSU has yet to really be tested, I feel like, and in the upcoming weeks, we'll probably really find out what that football team is all about.
Who did they play this week?
Youngstown State.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. Don't give a
shit.
It
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Let's move on. Yeah.
All right, Sox, I think you're going to hit MSU or U of M football.
U of M football played Washington over the weekend. Mays out at Michigan Stadium. We pounded the pigskin down their throat, which is a nice feeling. Something that, old Michigan football is all about. It makes me a little bit nervous, though, that we were 8 for 15 for 44 yards passing, throwing the ball. Being a situation, Washington was a little overrated to start the year. However, you're playing a team like Washington. I thought we should utilize that opportunity to kind of see what McNamara was all about. Throw the ball, situationally. It doesn't have to be crazy, but he's got to be put to the test at some point. Why not get him integrated right away? Michigan secondary makes me nervous a little bit. However, front seven with Ross in the linebacker core and Hutchinson is a beast on defense. Good sign there. Like I said, pound the rock. It's Michigan football. I like that. I just think moving forward, they should have prepared themselves and threw the ball a little bit more, just because at some point they're going to have to. Are we going to be clutch enough when we have to do it? Is it going to make that situation happen? That's the one thing. It's week 2. Good start for Michigan football. it still makes me a little bit nervous.
I know all Michigan fans are going to be happy about the fact that Ohio State did lose this past weekend.
That was a huge double win. Yeah. Ohio State. And anytime Ohio State loses, quack 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 quack. It was awesome.
All right. In the world of Michigan basketball news, we had a little celebration for the man Ben Wallace going in the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Big Ben got inducted. The cool thing for me was seeing the rest of the starting five for the Detroit Pistons team show up and honor him with him. Ben won 4 defensive MVPs or Defensive Player of the Year awards. The one year he did not win it was when they won the championship, believe it or not, which is crazy. Fun stat for me, and part of the reason I want to bring this up is Ben Wallace is the only player in history to have more blocks than fouls and more steals than turnovers, which is a crazy stat that blows my mind.
That is insane.
Definitely one of probably the best, maybe besides Mutombo moving forward and Dwight Howard after the fact. But Ben Wallace was a beast, had a lot of heart and soul. Definitely made the Pistons tick. And like I said, what I liked about everybody showing up is everybody knew their role. They all had each other's backs, and that's what made that team great. That nobody was a superstar player. We beat the shit out of the Lakers in 5 games.
We won every quarter of that series except 2.
Yeah, and even
fourth quarter and overtime in game 2.
Yeah. Even game 2, we technically won that game. Well, not technically, but you get what I'm saying. We won that game emotionally for sure. Then moving forward, Red Wing hockey is right around the corner this weekend. Starting on the 16th, they start their prospect camp in Traverse City, their annual prospect tournament there. Couple names to look forward to possibly long-term this season. Lucas Raymond, Chase Pearson, Bergeron. Pascal Zito is a late-round pick this year. Look for him to kind of make an impact. He did not play any hockey last year. That's why he was a late-round pick, but keep an eye on him. Jared McKissick and Wyatt Newpower on defense. Keep an eye on those prospects. And Sebastian Kosa, who we drafted in the first round this year, is also playing in this tournament. Not that he's going to be on the Red Wings anytime soon, but just a couple of guys to keep an eye on, especially Raymond. I don't think I mentioned Joe Veleno. Good thing about Joe Veleno, he did play 5 games last year, scored a goal on May 7th. May 7th is my birthday, so he should have a good long career in the NHL, hopefully. Hopefully we'll see him on the big club. Maybe see Raymond on the big club. So a couple guys to keep your eye on moving forward. The tournament lasts all weekend, and moving, sometime next couple weeks, we'll do a Detroit Red Wings preview. So that is Michigan sports.
Yeah, in other Michigan sports news, Western Michigan University beats Illinois State 28-0 on Com University night here in Kalamazoo. Good win for Western, first game at home, and hopefully we'll see some big things going for them as they get into MAC play. We will be right back with our favorite sports movies of all time.
Booyah. Enjoying the feast? Please like us on Facebook by searching Spinebuster Sports, and also please subscribe on YouTube. Appreciate your support. Welcome back, everybody. Sox here for the feast, brought to you by Spinebuster Sports. Just want to let everybody know that we are on iTunes,
Spotify, and Google Play. We're actually listed on all major podcasting platforms, Sox.
so check it out. What time we usually drop?
Drop 8 a.m. on Tuesdays.
Nice. Dig it. So continue to listen. Appreciate your feedback. A lot of exciting stuff moving forward. Heavy sports season coming up, so we should have a lot of fun content for everybody. Today, for the meat and potatoes segment, we're doing our favorite sports movies of all time. Just want to give everybody a heads up right away that $1 Million Baby will not be on my list. So if you're thinking of some serious bullshit type of thing, you're tuning into the wrong show.
Balls of Fury also will not be on my list, Sox.
Ooh, I forgot about that one. That's honorable mention for sure. Beverly Hills Ninja. I mean, come on. Karate Kid. Oh, I forgot about that, but Macho.
Yeah, we're diving deep into a subject we enjoy very much. Sports movies are great. They motivate people. They can be lighthearted. Just great all around. There's a lot of movies that we're going to talk about today that, for those of you who don't know, me and Sox used to live together, and there were just some movies that you just stopped and watched if they were on TV, and we're going to talk about some of those today.
Movies like Die Hard and Con Air. Wrong topic, sorry.
Wrong topic. All right. I'm going to give you my 10 through 6 of my favorite sports movies. Number 10, I'm going to go with Cool Runnings, starring John Candy. Number 9, great comedy film that me and Sox enjoy, Dodgeball, an underdog story. Number 8, I decided to go with Major League, the best thing to come out of Cleveland since Bird and Kosar.
Oh, fuck that.
Number 7, The Mighty Ducks. And then number 6 for me is The Sandlot. You know, a lot of movies that I watched growing up outside of Dodgeball, you know, just good, wholesome movies. The Sandlot was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I loved playing baseball. You know, me and a bunch of neighborhood kids would play out in the yard almost every day. And The Sandlot just, you know, takes me back to this day. Just out there throwing the ball around with some neighborhood friends and having a grand old time.
Hitting the stick.
Always hitting the stick, Sox.
I dig that list, Kyle Cake. I want to throw an honorable mention out just because there's a funny story with it. Angels in the Outfield, just because our buddy TK used to hide all our Poner tapes in there growing up. So there's never really Angels in the Outfield in that case.
Would you be talking about the one and only Hot Dog Neck?
Yes. That should be copyrighted. We're going to get in trouble for that.
He's going to be so mad.
He's going to be so mad. We're going to have to pay him. 10 through 6 for me. I have, and there's kind of no particular order. I kind of jumbled these. This is a way harder list than I really thought it would be when we first talked about this. We talked about this, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Anyway, number 10, I have Mighty Ducks, the franchise there. Sandlot, number 9. Mystery Alaska, at number 8. Happy Gilmore at number 7, which, you know, potentially that could be higher. Well, like I said, I threw this together. And I have Semi-Pro, just because
Will Ferrell's a genius.
The Michigan Mega Bowl, baby. Mighty Ducks, I grew up playing hockey. It was a great franchise. You learned a lot about leadership. You learned a lot about redeeming yourself as far as Bombay, you know, getting the DUI and all that stuff, taking care of kids. He grew up as an adult. He, you know, as a child in that movie, he, you know, hit the post and, you know, woe was me and all that kind of stuff. Sandlot, same type of deal, playing baseball, palling around with your friends. Mystery Alaska, Hot Dog Neck and I used to play pond hockey together, so there's that relationship there with that movie. I love hockey. Happy Gilmore, one of the funniest movies of all time. And then, what did I say, Semi-Pro. You can't top Will Ferrell and his bullshit.
Yeah, Sox, I agree with Mighty Ducks. You know, not only did Mighty Ducks spawn 3 movies in their franchise, they also spawned a cartoon and had an NHL franchise named after their movie.
Yeah, it was great timing, great part on Disney to make all that happen at once. Quack, 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 Mr. Duckworth.
Absolutely, Sox. And I also wanted to touch a little bit on Dodgeball, one of the most quotable movies on my list. Dodgeball, so many great quotes. Whether we're talking about if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. That'll buy you one hell of a blunkin'.
Ben Stiller in that. Oh yeah, the commentators. 100. Yeah.
Oh, Jason Bateman and Gary Cole play such great roles in that movie, and specifically Jason Bateman playing a role that is completely unlike any other role he's ever played.
And Ben Stiller, my favorite part in that movie is when he gets slammed in the face on her front porch, and he hops on the scooter and does the middle finger. Wonderful. Yeah, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Exactly.
It's also great. There's Easter eggs in this movie. You know, Ben Stiller plays a character that actually he played a couple or years before this in Heavyweights, Disney movie, which was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
There's a part of him in Happy Gilmore as the
orderly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, oh, your fingers hurt? Well, now your back's going to hurt because somebody pulled landscaping duty.
Yeah, he's a quote machine. Ben Stiller runs that movie for sure.
I also think that Cool Runnings is a very underrated film. Like
we all watched it.
We all have seen it. You know, everyone knows the story of the Jamaican bobsled team.
He's a cheater.
And the cheater John Candy in the movie. That's a great family film. Like me and my daughter will probably sit down and watch that one day, you know, so I can get her all pumped up for sports and whatnot, since there is no doubt in my mind she will be playing sports.
Yeah, it's another situation where the team has a lot of pride and changes the way of their coach to become a better coach. all that good stuff. I did quotations there. People can't see that. John Candy in that movie. One of his last movies before he died, I believe, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gone too early, that's for sure. All right, we're going to be right back with our 5 through 2 picks for best sports movies ever. Listening to us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button.
Welcome back, you dirty Harrys, to the feast. Brought to you by Spinebuster Sports. Sox here with Pound Cake. Talking about our top 10 favorite sports movies of all time. We went through 10 through 6 on each of our lists, dabbled a little bit about those. We're going to do 5 through 2. Kyle, would you like to start again?
Sure. Number 5, I have a movie that Sox talked about. Mine's Happy Gilmore. Such a great film, very quotable. Carl Weathers is very underrated in this movie.
Yeah.
Lee Trevino, very underrated. Bob Barker. Kevin Nealon.
Hey, there's some glass over there. There's a piece.
Oh, look, we're just trying to find this, all the pieces of this broken beer bottle. Classic movie, came out when I was in high school. Loved it. That's when Adam Sandler was just the man. He was churning out great film after great film after great film, and then Grown Ups happened.
Yeah.
Number 4 on my list, I have Rocky. Sylvester Stallone wrote and starred in probably the most critically acclaimed movie on this list. Rocky is loosely based on a boxing match between Chuck Wepner and Muhammad Ali. Rocky plays an aging boxer chosen by the champion to fight for the championship in his hometown of Philadelphia. It's a great movie to get you all psyched up, get you ready to go, ready to just lay it down on some people.
Yeah, I had Rocky on my list, and I actually forgot about them, Kyle. Solid movie. Team America.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Running through the streets of Philadelphia, punching sides of beef in a freezer.
Yeah.
The Yo Adrian.
The whole story of being
Yo Adrian.
The whole story of being an underdog.
Yeah.
Sells.
And it seems to also be a theme with our best sports movies list. Typically, it's underdog movies. Against all odds, coming together and
I must break you.
Coming together and doing what everybody thinks is impossible. Number 3 on this list, I have a movie that I haven't seen in a very long time, and Sox was the one that reminded me of it. Was Caddyshack. Just a great comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Ted Knight. Great golf movie, The Gopher, or Hedgehog, or whatever the hell that thing is.
One of my favorite parts of the movie is when Chevy Chase has the girl over, and he's got those bottles of whatever everywhere, and he puts the cap on and shakes it up, and he takes off the bottle cap, like it's like, like just like it was totally fresh. I used to do that as a bartender all the time, and nobody got that reference. It's one of my favorite things. That, and when Bill Murray says he's going to clean up around here, he gets the leaf blower and starts blowing all the shit in his little shed area. A lot of good quotes. Anybody that's ever played golf and you were putting and nobody ever screamed Noonan to you, you're not doing it right.
That is correct, Sox. Great comedy movie.
And that's why I have that above Happy Gilmore as well, because it was, golf wise.
It was that was probably one of the first over the top comedy type sports movies.
Did you know that Chevy Chase and Bill Murray did not get along?
I can fully believe that.
Yeah, there was a thing on SNL back in the day when Chevy Chase came back to host one time. They literally got in a brawl like 3 minutes before he had to come out on stage for his monologue. Is that wild?
I feel like I heard something about or read something.
But they've
about
reconciled, I guess, over time.
Well, that's good. Time heals most wounds. So.
Yeah, well, for the most part.
And then my number 2 movie is one of those movies that we talked about earlier. That every time it was on TV, no matter where it was at in the movie, we would stop and watch it. Me, Sox, and our boy Yo-Yo.
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. Takes place in the early 70s in Virginia, with all white school and all black school merging together. Denzel Washington plays Coach Herman Boone, that takes over as the head coach after the two schools integrated, and is tasked with bringing this team together. It's a spectacular movie on all accounts. You know, it kind of an underdog story, the human emotions, and just a great movie all around. Like, it does not matter where it's at in that movie. I will stop and watch it anytime I see it on.
It's a good movie to watch with people growing up. Just to know how, it's got history in there.
Yeah.
With everybody getting together, equality, still something that we're fighting today.
Yeah, and just the things of him teaching the players not only to get along with each other, but how to become men.
Exactly.
Making these players through the movie better people throughout the movie, bringing a town together.
Yes.
You never thought, and everything's going all great, and everything's all hunky dory, and then Gary Bertier's in a car accident, and the movie pulls at your heartstrings. Such a great last play of their state championship football game, a play that no one ever saw coming, and just a great movie.
Sunshine,
sunshine.
Trevor Lawrence.
Just a great movie all around. One of my favorites, probably somewhere. I'm not gonna say in my top 10 favorite movies of all time, but definitely probably my top 20. And yeah, nothing but great things to say about Remember the Titans.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Sox, do you want to hit your 5 through 2?
Yeah, we hit a couple of them already. Number 5, as much as I love NASCAR, Kyle, Talladega Nights. I'm sorry that Days and Thunder did not make my list, but Talladega Nights, the bananas of everything in that movie, with Sacha Baron Cohen's French IndyCar racing coming into the NASCAR, that whole situation.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Just that movie is bananas. One of my favorite movies of all time. Very, any Will Ferrell that you have is a very quotable movie. I think that's one of his best ones, sports wise. Shake and bake. I have that number 5. Number 4, I have Slapshot, one of my favorite hockey movies of all time. Everybody
That was a movie that got a lot of mentions on our Facebook post about this episode, Sox.
Yeah, most everybody knows who the Hanson brothers are. That one of my favorite scenes is the national anthem scene when the ref comes up to him and he's like, "I don't want any bullshit out of you guys," and he's like, "I'm listening to effing song." One of my favorite lines of all time. Great movie, great hockey movie. It's about a team in Kansas City, broke. Figured it out, but just more comedy than anything. Paul Newman, movie, right? Paul Newman, and Ralphie's mom from Christmas Story.
Okay, yeah, little Christmas Story.
A little Christmas Story there. Number, where were we, 3?
Yes.
Number 3, I have Caddyshack. We went
both
there.
had Caddyshack number 3.
I flipped them, yeah, on the fly. Number 2, we'd already talked about this one too. I had Dodgeball, just because the hilarious. I'm a comedy guy. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. So we talked about those, and that was a good part of that. Next up, we're going to talk about our number 1 favorite sports movie of all time on each of our lists. Once again, we appreciate you listening. Enjoying us on YouTube? Hit that subscribe button, you dirty Harry.
Thanks for joining us today. We're back with The Feast, brought to you by Spinebuster Sports, and we're ready to unveil our number 1 sports movies of all time. Sox, what's your number 1?
Kyle, can you guess?
Blades of Glory.
No, that was an honorable mention.
Cutting Edge.
Several people mentioned Cutting Edge, which is bananas to me. A couple of honorable mentions I have is Draft Day, Rookie of the Year.
Draft Day.
Field of Dreams.
We still watch Draft Day almost every year, the day of our fantasy football draft, because it's such a great quotable movie.
If I don't call somebody a pancake eating motherfucker once a year, it's.
Do you know who that guy was, Sox?
Who?
It was Bryce Drew, Sox.
Bryce Drew. Oh yeah, that's the security guard or the head of security.
No, he went to the guy's birthday party.
Yeah, he's like, get it out. Miracle, Replacements, Hoosiers. I think those are kind of my Little Giants.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Yeah. So number 1, I have Major League. One of my favorite movies of all time. Everybody likes the first one, and I respect that. My favorite is actually number 2. I think Rube Baker, the rookie catcher in that movie, is one of the most priceless characters of all time. And then the Asian outfielder with the no marbles thing. No marbles. Oh, it just that movie makes I can watch that movie on repeat. Besides Ace Ventura, I can probably quote that movie number 2 to Ace Ventura for me. Just one of the funniest movies of all time in my book.
And this coming from a guy who absolutely hates the city of Cleveland.
That's 100%. That's the same with Draft Day. I was like, why does Cleveland get all this cool crap?
Well, it's just because
They
what else
suck.
do they have?
They suck.
And
They
Bernie
got
Kosar.
yeah. Not this goddamn song again.
That's a good one, Sox. One of my favorite movies.
Can't forget about Ricky Vaughn though.
Oh, you
and
can't
Wild
forget
Thing.
Wild Thing, man.
Wild Thing.
The Wild Thing.
And the glasses. And was it the Dominator? We call that the masturbator.
Too high.
Too high. Just a bit outside. Yeah, I forgot. And him. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker.
Oh, man.
Fly ball. Caught.
Nice little bit of trivia. John Moxley in AEW uses the Wild Thing music as his entrance music, and I think of Major League every time.
Yeah, he should
he
should come out with skull glasses and a vest for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Sox. My number one movie. Sox, what are some of my favorite things?
Pub servers. Green Bay Packers. Austin Jackson.
Pro wrestling. And Notre Dame football, Sox.
Notre Dame football.
My number one movie is Rudy.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Rudy. This movie has a lot of great memories for me on a lot of different levels. My grandfather took me to see this movie the weekend it opened in theaters. He was a huge Notre Dame fan. He's the reason I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. Just probably one of the greatest underdog stories ever told. You know, a kid has a dream to go to the University of Notre Dame and play football. Always told he would never make it. Was too small. Goes to South Bend, enlists at St. Mary's University, try to get his grades up, ends up getting into Notre Dame, plays on the practice team for a couple years.
Was his family in like the steel mill or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. And just my favorite scene from the movie, other than the final scene when Rudy gets the sack and is carried off the field, is the scene where he's accepted to Notre Dame. It's set against the lake at Notre Dame. He sits on a bench, opens it. The music is great. They pan across. It's a very emotional moment for Mr. Sean Astin in the movie. And I don't know how you can't love this movie. Like, regardless if you're a Notre Dame fan or not. One of my top favorites. Probably going to be in my top 10 of favorite movies of all time. You know, which is weird because it's scattered around a bunch of Quentin Tarantino films. But just a top to bottom, great feel-good story.
Are you done?
I am.
Rudy. I'm so excited for him that he got a sack. I'm so excited for he made a tackle on special teams. But I feel like he did so much more when he got that house out of foreclosure. With him and One-Eyed Willie, he got the gold from One-Eyed Willie's ship. He did so much better as a kid than he did it as a college athlete, Kyle.
Yes, and he did great things as an adult, if you remember the movie 50 First Dates.
And he was a great, great Hobbit.
He was a spectacular Hobbit.
But
he was the Lord of the Ring, Sox.
He was the Lord of the Ring. But yeah, good for him for making a sack and a tackle and all this. Yay.
Well, that's funny. I was expecting you to talk about how he was offsides.
Yeah. I could have brought that up, but that kind of is close to my heart in high school football, so I don't like to bring those stories up.
All right, we'll be right back.
Can you tell I'm disappointed in Kyle's number one choice? Everybody else should be too.
I mean, I don't know why anyone's surprised. Everyone knows my love for Notre Dame, and I'll get into that in our next segment.
Yes, welcome back.
Thanks for listening.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. The Catfish Blanco Recycling Center.
We kick all the boxes.
Men and Ranch Strip Club.
It's healthier than depression.
Ron Caputo Meat Tenderizer.
I beat your meat so you don't have to.
Welcome back, everybody, to The Feast, brought to you by Spinebuster Sports.
Spinebuster Sports.
Spinebuster Sports. We're going to harmonize eventually. Quick thing I want to add. I forgot to mention Waterboy. That's one of my favorites, too.
Yeah, Waterboy is rock solid.
Something else I wanted to add. Now it just left my brain, Kyle.
Men and Ranch.
Oh, Men and Ranch. Oh, yeah, everybody that's listening to our promotional ads there. The Men and Ranch Strip Club did close about 10 years ago on Drake Road, so if everybody's looking for that, that is not open.
It is better than depression.
It is better than Depression. That's why we all came out of it alive back then.
Yeah, luckily.
Today for dessert, we're gonna talk. Kyle is gonna talk about some angst against Green Bay Packers and Notre Dame football. I will give it to him. I'm gonna lay down and watch him sweat and cry a little bit.
All right, Sox. I'm going to start today with the extremely disappointing performance that Notre Dame has put up the last 2 weeks. Started with Florida State. You know, Florida State always puts on a good show against Notre Dame. I feel like with that game, Notre Dame had to deal with a quarterback change, and Milton came in and just torched that defense. If Milton for Florida State starts that entire game, I feel like Florida State wins that game easily. And
A lot of emotion in that game, though, because of the Bobby Bowden.
yeah, a lot of emotion because of Bobby Bowden. A lot of emotion for Milton coming back after having a terrible leg injury 3 years ago. Doctors never thought he would make it back on the field.
Yeah.
So more power to him. Props to you, Milton. But then we go to this last Saturday, and Toledo comes to town, comes to South Bend. I got to watch very little of the game because I was working Saturday night. But what I did see just was terrible. Notre Dame opened that game, drove right down the field, scored a touchdown right off the bat. And after that, I don't know what happened. It took us all the way scoring with less than a minute left to win that game. And I feel it's Brian Kelly football. When they hired Brian Kelly, I was all about it. He had come through the GVSU ranks, CMU, went to Cincinnati, and then went to Notre Dame. It was the job he wanted, and I was all about Brian Kelly. But it seems like in some of these tough games with Notre Dame that Brian Kelly can't get away from his own play calling. Like, Brian Kelly calls games a certain way, and he always sticks exactly to what he thinks should be going on, and it doesn't always work for Notre Dame. And you got to start switching it up. I don't expect us to go to the college football playoff once again this year, just because in 2 weeks, if we don't get this figured out, we are going to get slaughtered by Wisconsin. Just straight destroyed by Wisconsin. But, the thing about being a Notre Dame fan is everybody hates you. And you're going to get it from all sides when you're not performing. And it's like people look at me at the bar when I'm working going, oh, Notre Dame football, not looking too strong. And I look at everybody dead in the eyes and I go, why am I the only person not surprised by this? I have gotten so used to Notre Dame disappointing the first couple games of the season, and for some reason showing up to big games almost all the time, unless it's a college football playoff game, then they don't show up.
All I can say is a win is a win.
Yeah, it's a W.
You're still 2-0.
Yeah, I'll take it. We dropped 4 spots in the rankings. We went from number 8 to number 12 after winning this weekend.
Defense struggled, giving up big plays.
Yeah, defense definitely struggled giving up big plays.
Running the ball.
Yeah.
They had 130-something yards on 39 carries. That's not a good average there.
No.
And then they did lose a left tackle this week, too, off of that rebuilding offensive line.
Some bright spots, though. Tight end play looks amazing right now.
Yeah.
I do like
they got to lock it up.
somewhat of our quarterback play, but we'll see what happens with that. Quarterback showed a little strength, dislocating a finger, getting it set, and then going in and throwing a touchdown pass to win the game.
But if you give up big plays on defense and you can't run the ball, it's not good.
Yeah. I just think Notre Dame fans should be ready for an extremely long season this year.
We can only hope.
And now to my even more disappointing Green Bay Packers. We spent the entire offseason. I watch ESPN every single morning. And the entire offseason, all I got to
That's
hear,
weird. I watch Fox Sports.
Oh, that is weird.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
That all offseason, the only thing I heard was the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. Is Aaron Rodgers going to come back to Green Bay? Is he going to retire? Is he going to be a Jeopardy host? Is he going to disappear and become a mountain man?
I told you if he's going to be pissed at the world, or is he just going to be pissed with us?
Right.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like he's just pissed. And I wish I could say that Aaron Rodgers was the problem in Green Bay. Really what I think the problem is in Green Bay is our defense. Once again, if you watch the New Orleans Saints Green Bay Packers game on Sunday, Jameis Winston had all the time in the world to throw. All the time in the world. There was one play I watched where he sat back in the pocket for easily 5 to 10 seconds, just sitting there going through his reads, trying to find out, and then ran for a first down. If Green Bay cannot get their defense on point to at least stop some teams, we're going to be in for a very long season. I believe that at some point, Mr. Rogers will get his head back in the game. You know, he threw, first time I believe in his career that he threw 2 picks and 3 pass plays.
It was one of the worst games I have ever personally seen him. I watched the tape. I didn't watch the game.
I think by far it's the worst game he's ever played.
Yeah, it just looked like they couldn't run the ball. You're right on defense.
They gave up the run in the second half. They didn't even try.
And reminder there that they played Jameis Winston. Now, you know, they're making it easy. A lot of Jameis Winston throws were dumps and tick and tack of toes. Maybe a good game plan against Green Bay. Green Bay was not prepared from head coaching to coordinators to Aaron Rodgers to the whole rest of the team. Can't really put a blame on one single person there. All I can say is last year, New Orleans beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 38-3. Tampa Bay won a Super Bowl. And week 2, Kyle, they play the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, if we can get back on track anyway, hopefully it'll be against the Lions. That'll be on Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So we'll probably talk about that in a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that in 2 weeks. Yeah, if you're a Notre Dame fan or a Green Bay Packer fan, I feel like it's going to be a very long season unless somehow
Sterling Sharp comes out of retirement.
Sterling Sharp, Reggie White comes back. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
The Minister of Defense.
Dorsey Levens.
Oh, Dorsey Levens. Mark Chimura.
Yeah.
Scratch Mark Chimura.
Wah, wah. Yeah, like I said, you know, it's game 1. Like Aaron Rodgers said, there's still 16 games left. But I think Green Bay, if you give it 2, 3, 4 weeks, Green Bay's gonna be on fire. I
would hope so.
Rodgers will be gone. There goes the head coach. Green Bay's gonna start rebuilding. That's the cord I would pull.
And they should. And they should. Like, if we can't get this going by week 6, and you know, I listen to a lot of people talking about how great the NFC North is, how it's one of the most dominating divisions in football. I completely disagree. The NFC North is a cakewalk. We just happen to have some really bad teams.
I agree with it. I disagree with that. They call it the black and blue division for a reason.
What was that?
It's like the Big Ten. Everybody just beats the crap out of each other, and somebody rises from the dust. Mm-hmm. You know, if Green Bay goes on fire, who's going to win the NFC Central?
You want to know the sad thing, Sox, is of all the NFC North teams this weekend, I have to say the Detroit Lions looked the best. And a lot of that could have just been they didn't give up. You've seen so many Lions teams.
But that's how it's always been. You know, Stafford back in the day brought us back so many fourth quarter comebacks. This is kind of a different situation. Luckily, 49ers fumbled the ball at the end there on the 30-yard line. But there was a lot of fight. You know, if they have that fight in the beginning of the game, now it is San Francisco. They are a Super Bowl contending team. Great defense. Detroit still has a lot. They need a lot more talent on defense. They need a lot more talent on wide receiver. Thank God we have T.J. Hawkinson. We ran the ball decent. We have Swift.
I think Williams looked really good.
He's in concussion protocol.
Oh, okay.
And then we also lost Jeff Okudah to a torn Achilles.
Yeah, I did see that you lost Okudah. That's another blow.
Which our secondary is already wonderful as it is.
So, Sox, here's my question to you. We had a little talk about this yesterday watching football at a buddy's place, but what do you see? Do you see the Lions taking a quarterback this next draft, or you see them kind of waiting it out? Like, I don't think if you're going to be all in on either Sam Howell or Spencer Rattler coming this offseason, I say you take the quarterback. But you have 3 years. Dan Campbell signed a 6-year contract, and I can very much see the Lions like taking a 3-year block of quarterbacks coming out in the draft, and just deciding this is the guy we want to go after. That's the guy who's going to be our guy, because there are so many other positions on this team that need to be fixed and taken care of.
All I've wanted in the draft the last couple years has been a playmaking linebacker. I really wanted Parsons this year. I think he could be a difference maker.
I agree.
Bush the year before, even though he did get hurt. You know, even Devin White back for Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. We need. Back in the day when the Lions were okay, before I think the Joey Harrington year, or during the Joey Harrington years, while we had Dre Bly. Now he was at the end of his steam coming out. We gave him a big contract coming out of St. Louis, but he got the ball. He was a difference maker on defense. Now he did get burned every once in a while, sure, but he got the ball for us. We have no ball hawking anybody. We have nobody that can force fumbles. You know, we're supposed to have a decent pass rush. Okay, decent, but we still gave up 300-something yards in the air. You know, we're still not defending the run that well. San Francisco is a high-quality team, and I'm glad we had fight at the end, but I think how Dan Campbell wants to play the game, we have to start addressing some playmakers on defense, whether it's a ultimate pass rusher, like I said, a playmaking linebacker. Okuda, year 2. Now he's going to be in year 3 next year. He's going to have a big year next year of figuring out what we're going to do with him. Get a ball hawking safety somewhere that can make a difference. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, I think in the trenches we're okay.
Yeah, I think the offensive line made some big strides. I believe Sewell is going to be your new left tackle.
Well, he's definitely more comfortable there.
Yeah, they're going to have to move Decker probably over to right, but
more comfortable there, and you want, the offensive line's good. We're good for the next 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Tight end, we're good.
Yeah, running back.
We're good. Quarterback, we can maintain. I'm okay with Jared Goff right now because it's a transitional period, right? We need some. So back to your question about who we draft. I talked about defensive playmakers. If there's a wide receiver, that wide receiver from Clemson or Ross, if he's there and we're at a certain spot, he's a burner. He can get the ball. Eventually we need to address that too. So there's a lot of needs.
My only thing with taking a wide receiver that early in the draft is you can only really take a wide receiver that early if you are 100% positive he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Otherwise, wide receivers taking that early always end up being busts.
And back to my, everybody gives me shit because I always want to draft, a middle linebacker or something like that early. Look at all the teams that won Super Bowls.
Middle linebacker was the quarterback of the defense.
Ray Lewis, Kuechly. All these head honcho middle linebackers. Fred Warner now in San Francisco. You look at
Devin White with Tampa
Bay, Seattle.
Bobby Wagner.
These guys are tackle everything.
Green Bay, Clay Matthews,
huge pass rusher. Mm-hmm. Get a Khalil Mack. Mm-hmm. Get a Myles Garrett. Get a Bosa. Get somebody that at least there's fear in the opponent. Saying, hey, we got to worry about, the left end coming at us all day long because he's their best. We don't have any of that. We have we have Flowers, and which we overpaid for, I believe. In our defense, we got some big bodies there. Nobody's going to wow you. And Anzalone is our middle linebacker. Like, okay, great veteran there, great leader. Still not a playmaker.
No, and, as me and you have both talked about off air many times, it all starts in the trenches, both sides of the ball.
I think it's a good start.
Yeah, you got to get some guys that pressure the quarterback and can get in the backfield, disrupt the run, and right now it's a long road for Dan Campbell. I think he's saying the right things. He's he is becoming the city of Detroit spirit.
He played there. So he understands the Detroit culture. He understands that as Detroit Lions fans, we haven't won jack shit. We haven't won a playoff game since,
91.
Thank you.
Yep.
And we all keep coming back as fans. We all keep coming back. Even when we went 0-16, we kept coming back. I remember that year, everybody was so excited because I'm pretty sure that year in the preseason we went 4-0. I said, that don't mean shit. And we went 0-16. We've had a lot of good coaches, a lot of good players coming in and out of Detroit. Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Steve Mariucci. None of it clicked. Bobby Ross didn't click. Stafford, we wasted talent there with Calvin Johnson all day long.
You got to be higher than a draft's ass stocks if you think Bobby Ross.
We have to start nailing. Which I love Holmes because I think he's going to be a good eye for talent, especially in the draft. I hope we're a team that we start building within instead of trying to overpay on the outside. We need to start nailing on rounds 2, 3, 4. The last 15 years as a second round pick, who have we had that has turned out? Remember Titus Young? Broyles. Like all these Bodunk players, Tavai, the linebacker we just released. We need to start nailing on those picks. Just like every team needs to nail on a pick like that. But I just believe that we've had so many good playmakers on offense the last several years. We've wasted that talent. Give me a playmaker on defense. Give me a difference maker, like I said, that puts fear into that quarterback or that running back that says, hey, we got to stay away from the left side. We got to stay away from the strong side because he's over there. Or we got to stay away from the X receiver because he's blanketed all day long. So give me something like that, and I'll be way more excited.
Yeah, it's more exciting for Lions fans right now because at least you guys are at the beginning of your rebuild. As a Packers fan, as much as I like to talk trash and say we follow up Hall of Fame quarterbacks with another Hall of Fame quarterback, it's disheartening to see your team come out and not even score a touchdown, barely make it over the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
And
But
because this is the end for Green Bay. Like we're on a rebuild if it doesn't work this year.
And they should. It's do or die. Love is gonna be okay.
Yeah, Love's gonna be okay.
But it's still an aging team. These guys are in their prime for Green Bay. So if it does not work out, I think you're right. I think it's time for see you later. However, they went through this weird little scenario the last couple of years, every single season, where they go through the motions and is Aaron Rodgers getting along with LaFleur and blah blah blah. Are they
cram it up your cram? Hold it
Are they calling the right plays and all this stuff? And blah, blah, blah. How's their relationship? Is Aaron just gonna ignore all this? And then they figure it out. But like you said, let's talk about this in week 6. See where they're at. We'll see where the rest of the division is. I'm interested in Chicago a little bit. Fields is dabbling already.
Fields got on the field a little bit. Had a 10-yard touchdown run.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook and Justin. Well, Thielen had 2 touchdowns, which I thought
he's
was
a pro.
Weird. He's a pro. Dalvin Cook's going to be one of the bright spots.
I'm not worried about they had a great defense. 2 years ago?
That defense disappeared.
Yeah,
disappeared.
So
and one thing I feel like, other than the Green Bay Packers the last couple of years, the NFC North has always been won by a team that anchors with the defense, and the Bears have always had a top-notch defense.
Well, as much as Tom Brady is awesome and he's got all those weapons on the offense, look at that defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Look at the Rams going to the Super Bowl a couple years. Look at that defensive side of the ball.
Still with that defensive side of the ball.
Look at Kansas City. As much as they have all the talent on offense, they upgrade their defense. It's what gets you there. Now, one thing I always respect about New England is they didn't always have the best defense, but they had a contained defense, right? They kept everything underneath you. They didn't give up any big plays. On offense, they had a running back by committee type of deal, but they always they threw the ball a shit ton.
Yeah.
But they, little screen pass here. That was their running game, and it's okay to do that. But if you don't have an identity on defense, it doesn't help your offense. So, moving forward, I think if Green Bay falters and takes a shit, my pick of Lions going 500 looks pretty damn good there, Kyle.
It does, and my pick of Green Bay going to the playoff looks pretty.
Oh, hey, and also Logan Thomas scored a touchdown, Kyle.
He did. I saw it. It was pretty.
But Fitzmagic is out, 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah. I like them going with Taylor Heineke. He is the future there. And that defense can keep them in games. Heineke almost beat Tampa Bay last year in the playoffs.
True.
By just keeping it the way...
That front seven is out of control. We have a Chase Young and Sweat on the other side. Woo-wee!
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. All right. And like we said before, we're now available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play.
Like us on Facebook.
Hit
all the subscribe buttons.
Download us. Fill out a review. Me and Sox very much enjoy doing this. We're hoping you guys are enjoying everything.
Join the Dirty Harry Sanchez fan club. Dirty Harrys.
We hope that everyone's enjoying listening to us, and we appreciate you if you're coming back week after week listening to a couple sports nerds just doing what they love.
Yeah, and if you're one of our buddies trying to get on this show, take a number, bitch.
Yeah. All right, we'll see everybody next week where we will cover our top 10 favorite WWE finishing moves. We'll have the debut of our NASCAR segment, Turning Left, and we'll talk to the handsome.
I'm not prepared for any of that, Kyle.
Yeah, well, we'll get it figured out. Thanks for listening.
As always, it's Sox at Pound Cake.
Peace.
Like us on Spinebuster Sports on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. Spinebuster Sports.
Spinebuster Sports.
Hit the buttons, you nerdies.